Hello, this is Azar and welcome to Java SE tutorials. In this tutorial we are going to learn about abstraction. If you have followed any Java book and probably you have gone through the definition of abstraction, you will find that abstraction means hiding of implementation details, but this is just a definition and it doesn't mean anything really. When I was a student and I had to struggle what the meaning of that. Right now I am going to tell you what abstraction means. First of all, let's discuss a little bit about class. A class is used to create the template of an object. Okay, so the class is able to create the template of object. So now this class employee is able to create my object of type employee. So my object's type is employee. So the employee here becomes the data type, and the class is used to define these type of data types. Okay, these are called user defined data types. The employee here is user defined data type. Okay, now we'll learn about abstract data type. Now when a class has variables and all of its access specifiers are private, okay, when all the instance variables access type is private, then this type of class is called abstract data type. Okay, let me reiterate. The class is used to create a data type, and those type of data types are called user defined data type. Now abstract data type is a special kind of user defined data type that has all the instance variables private. Clear? Now why it is called abstract? Because as we have learnt that the private variable is not accessible outside the class. So this data is abstract over here. Okay, this data is abstract over here. Now let me tell you the type of abstractions that are available in our store. Now the abstraction can be categorized into data abstraction and method abstraction. This is actually I am using method abstraction. This is something new that I think I have given a name, method abstraction. Okay, now what we have told before, that all the variables in the class must be private. So this helps us in data abstraction. Now my data is abstracted out. This is not really 100% abstraction, the meaning of data abstraction. I will tell you, there is something more about data abstraction. The data must be private, but also it is abstracted away how my data is being used inside the class. I will design a class and I will write the functionalities. So another user or my friend developer will be using this class. So he doesn't need to know how I have defined my functionality and how I have used represented my data. Okay, so let me show you. Here we have created 4 variables and we are accessing the variables one by one. But these 4 variables, okay, let's take these 2 variables can be defined using an array, can be stored in an array. A array is, if you don't know what an array is nothing special. It is just a 2 variables defined next to next to each other in the memory representation. Means if you have a memory, suppose its address is 1000 and you will have another memory block allocated, it's 1000 something, means they are always contiguous. Okay, so here I have something here. I have to initialize this array. I have forgotten. I will initialize this array equals new string. Okay, sorry, yeah. So I have defined that this emp details will create two variables of type string, and I'll access this the first variable using this emp details bracket 0, and in the 0th location I will be storing the name, and in the 1th location, means in the second variable in the array, I will be storing my employee account number. Similarly, I will be showing this name and employee account number accessing the arrayth 0th element, that stored my name and array's second element using this emp details 1. There is one thing to note, that the array's index starts from 0. Okay, means to access the first variable in the array we have to use this 0. This 1 is used to access the second variable in the array. So here you can see I have changed the representation of data. The data was represented using variables in this employee class, and here in this employee 2 class I have changed the representation. I have used the array. So this program will work fine. Now if my fellow developer will invoke this introduce yourself, and this result will be printed. Okay, the same thing for here. Let me remove these two variables for you to not to be confused. Okay, so just hold on a second. Okay, here you can see sorry, so when my fellow developer invokes this introduce yourself, this functionality, he doesn't want he will not, means it is not required for him to know how I had implemented this method. He is only interested about the output. He has expected this output, so he will get this output. Similarly, since I have changed the data representation over here and I have used like this, but he will not be interested, he doesn't want, he will not be able to know, means it is not up to him how the data is being printed in the screen. Either I am using variables or arrays, it is not really means essential for him to know. He just will give the input or call the function, and he will want the desired output. So this is actually called the data abstraction. Data abstraction is, first, the variables must be private. The second is, it is not essential for the user of my class to know how the data is represented. So data abstraction is both the data representation and the access level. When they both come together, then that is called data abstraction. Okay, data abstraction, simple. My data is not accessible from outside my class, and if the users of my class do not need to know how my data is represented. They will simply call the functionality and will expect the desired output. Okay, Crystal. Now we'll move to the second thing, that is called method abstraction. Actually, I have already covered the method abstraction. Method abstraction means the user of my class will invoke the method only and will expect the output. He doesn't need to know how the method is implemented. Okay, the best example I will show you here is, let me show you the Java has a library and it has already defined this math class, and this math class has many functionalities. So here you can see, when I click the dot to access the functionalities, you can use the dot operator. Okay, but only the functionalities that are static in nature can be accessed with dot. If I specify here static, then they can access by the name of class. If you want to access this introduce yourself, you can access using employee dot introduce yourself. Now since this is not static, I will just remove the static. Okay, now here you can see in the math class there are many static functionalities or methods. Just I will, here you can see this cos. You can see this functionality or this method. Here you can see public static double cos double a. This method cos, its name is cos, it is cosine. Actually it takes a value and it returns the cosine value of that value that has been passed to it. You can see this double a returns the trigonometric cosine of an angle. As I have said, special case, if the argument is this value, if the value passed is a nan or infinity, then the result is nan. Okay, the computed result must be within one up of the extra exact result. Here a is an angle in radians, this a is angle in radians, and the result will be the cosine of the argument. Here you can see this is the double value. So here is abstraction actually in action. You can see I don't know how it is going to calculate my cosine value of this a. So this is called actually abstraction. Here I don't want to know, or I do not want to know how it is implemented. I just want that I will pass the value and get the result. So this is called abstraction, and this is called method abstraction. The method is being abstracted away. How it is implemented, I don't know. Okay, this is called method abstraction. I am repeating actually so that you can remember it. Okay, so it is also called as abstraction by specification. Okay, there are many methods. You can see here, you can this method mean. Okay, it takes two values and it returns the smallest value. There is a max. This takes two values and finds out returns you what is the max among them. So how these methods are implemented, I don't want to know, and I am not interested to know. I just want to pass these values and get the result. So this is abstraction in action. Okay, I hope you have understood abstraction. If you don't, then you can write comments. Okay, and I will try to clarify. Thank you.